Thank you.
You are the founder of Power of the Lamb Ministries.
Yep.
And you have an interesting journey. After our music for this evening, we'd like to hear about that journey.
Yep.
We have Stephanie Dawn with us, and she's going to play she's going to sing, and she's going to be accompanied by Dan Thornton. She's going to sing Speechless. Speechless. Thank you, Stephanie Dawn, for that lovely song. It's lovely.
Amen.
Pastor Myers, let's get to it. As Danny says, let's cut this melon. You know, you have a journey that, in a sense, is kind of similar to mine in that we were both in the music industry. Tell us about your beginnings, even before you got into the music industry. Did you grow up in a Christian home? What was your home life like?
So I was born in Jamaica. I didn't grow up in, we weren't a religious family, like going to church every week or anything like that. I mean, we went to church sometimes, but it was, my parents, good people, taught us to be respectful, all those things. So we grew up in a good home. My introduction to Christianity kind of came in stages. Beginning with when I was around 12 years old, I had, an experience with a cousin of mine who came over to the States and introduced me to the Bible, introduced me to the book of Revelation, and really scared me to death.
That was your introduction to the Bible, the book of Revelation?
That was I don't know if you want to hear the story, but
Yes, go ahead, tell us.
So I was 12. No, I was actually 11. I was 12, my brother was 11. And, like I said, we didn't go to church too often or whatever. And my cousin comes from England. She's about 14 years old. Her name is Susan. And Susan would talk to us about the Bible. We just fell in love with her immediately. I mean, we just got really connected. It was our first time meeting her. And by this time, we were in the States. We were in America. So Susan one morning is talking to us about the Bible, as she usually did, but this time she's talking to us about this thing called the mark of the beast. And my parents weren't at home at the time. They were out wherever, and it was just me, my brother, and Susan at home. And, she's telling us about this thing in the book of Revelation called the mark of the beast. And my brother and I, as she's talking, my brother and I are like, oh, no. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. Why? Because that summer, we had just watched a movie about a little boy who discovers he's the Antichrist.
Oh, no.
And he was from England, as far as I remember.
Oh, no.
And he has 666 written in his forehead. And so anyone that discovers his identity dies a horrendous, just painful, just crazy death. Like getting hit by a truck and the truck doesn't kill him yet, and then a crow comes out of nowhere and they're just like, oh, and their death would just be so horrendous. So after we saw that movie, my brother and I decided that we never wanted to know what the mark of the beast is.
Wow. And that was your introduction.
And that was my introduction.
Man.
My cousin's like, I know what the mark of the beast is. Do you want to know what the mark of the beast is? No. And I'm thinking, we are about to die. We are about to die. And then she proceeds to tell us that there's a certain company that produces soap. I'm not going to mention the name of the company. And on their soap boxes is this symbol of a circle with a half moon and a man's face in it. I don't know if you've ever heard that before.
I know which one you're talking about.
And she was like, that is the mark of the beast.
Oh, no.
And I'm thinking, we are about to die. And my parents aren't home. And then she's like, do you have a soapbox in your house? And I'm like, yes, Susan, we have a soapbox in the house. And she's like, where is it? And my brother and I are like, it's in the basement. And she's like, let's go. And so off we go down the steps, and the steps are creaking. And in my mind, I hear the horror music in the background, like things are about to end. We get down to the basement, and we point to the soapbox, and we start backing up. And she's moving to the soapbox. She picks it up, she turns it, and she looks at it, and then she looks at us, and she's like, there it is. My brother and I see the circle with the half moon and the man's face in it. We run out the house screaming in our pajamas.
Wow.
We are standing in the middle of the street. No laughing on the set, please. We are standing in the middle of the street, screaming.
In New York.
This is in Freeport, Long Island.
In Long Island.
We are screaming and crying, and my cousin is laughing to death.
Oh, and I'm sure there was people outside.
We're
too.
looking for crows. We're looking for houses to fall. We're looking for the earth to open up. And like after like 5 minutes of nothing happening, we kind of calmed down. And that was my introduction to the book of Revelation.
You know, it's not,
and the Bible.
it's funny, but it's not funny.
Yeah.
It's funny in the, you know, the way you're telling it, but it's not funny in that it's such a distortion of what the
truth
true
is.
mark of the beast
Yeah.
is. And isn't
But
it
it
interesting how
yeah.
media
Yeah.
can just change how
Yeah.
we perceive things?
Yep. It planted a seed in my mind after I was like, okay, we're still alive. Nothing has happened. Maybe you can know what the mark of the beast is and live.
Yeah.
You know, so I remember a seed being planted. And again, it wasn't like I suddenly got interested in the Bible. It was just like a seed was planted and then I went on as usual, you know, just living my life or whatever. And so as a teenager, my brother and I got really involved in the hip hop industry, or into hip hop, I should say, breakdancing and just the whole culture. And by the time we got to high school, we had formed a 4-man hip hop group. We graduated, went to college, and in my second year of college, entered a talent show at Howard University in Washington, D.C. We came in first place in that talent show.
Wow.
And that led to a recording contract with EMI Records in 1993. The name of our group was the Boogie Monsters. And we started recording. We recorded an album. And while we were recording that first album, I was introduced to the gospel. And that's where my whole life just, you know, took a turn. And I ended up leaving the music industry, as well as my brother, who was in the group with us. Both of us left the industry for the same reason, and went into ministry. Now, it was not my intent to go into ministry. I just left the group because the things that I had learned so impacted me that you know, I was willing to walk away from, you know, an $800,000 contract, and basically went to work at Target. You know, making like minimum wage.
Yeah.
And hadn't really thought about becoming a pastor, just knew that I could not continue doing what I was doing. And then from there, the Lord just began to show me different things, and one thing led to another, and now here I am.
Wow.